Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at a question that a lot of people have probably been asking, and that is the question of where are the 3rd anniversary sync pair reruns? So, if you didn't know, last year we got the rerun for the 2nd anniversary sync pairs for pretty much the new year / the end of the holidays, end of 2023, whatever, where obviously they all rerun alongside their story event and their extreme battle events and whatnot, and it was just, fun time. People who wanted to get the 2nd anniversary sync pairs, who are popular characters with popular Pokemon, weren't really the best sync pairs, still aren't, but still popular, right? And they were able to obtain them, whatever, all that stuff. So people were in the right mind to assume that this year we would get the same thing for the 3rd anniversary sync pairs, where we would get Signature Thunderbolt Red and Pikachu, or Cynthia and Lucario, and maybe Ash and Pikachu. Obviously that one's still up for debate. If you don't know why, it's because Ash is an anime exclusive Pokemon character, meaning that there is some obviously back-end / licensing stuff that they may have to do in order to actually have Ash in the game attainable at a certain time. So maybe they don't want to rerun him because it would cost money or something, and obviously Ash is no longer the protagonist in the anime, that type of stuff, right? Obviously, that's completely speculative for the most part. Obviously, so I'm not... If I include Thunderbolt Red and or Cynthia, just know Ash would be with them potentially, right? It just depends on how the legal stuff behind the scenes works. But obviously, as you can see here, for the end of this year, the latest release is Neo Champion Rosa and Meloetta, who's dropping on Christmas, as well as then having the Egg event as the last event available in the year, for what we know so far anyway, on the 27th. Meaning that there is then a 4-day gap between that moment in time and the new year, to where we'll be getting the New Year's sync pairs, New Year's Select Scouts, all the New Year's content, and all of that. So people are wondering, where are the 3rd anniversary sync pairs? Because they have not been revealed yet. It would have been obvious to speculate that at least Red and Cynthia would have rerun for, the end of the year, but they haven't. So I've got 2 main theories on what will happen with the rerun for these 2/3 sync pairs here. My first idea is that we're going to get a data mine around Christmas, whether it be the 24th or 25th or something. Or sorry, not 24th, because it's literally tomorrow. That's a Sunday. And I doubt it's going to be on Christmas itself, because obviously I don't know if they work through the office on Christmas. I'm not too sure how that works. But maybe around the 26th, we'll get a potential data mine and all of that will really reveal all the content for January, as well as give us the reruns for at least Aura Cynthia and Thunderbolt Red. That's my first idea, and if you don't know what I mean by drop a data mine and how they can't drop it on Christmas, it's because I'm pretty sure whenever they drop a data mine, they have to have at least some people in the quote-unquote office, working to make sure that everything goes smoothly where when the data download drops, to make sure nothing in the actual game is either released early or something gets corrupted or something happens. People have to be there in order to make sure any emergency maintenance that has to go on can be done, right? Because there have been some cases that I've known in gacha games where they release a content patch or something, or a new update or whatever, and no one is in the office. So whenever something goes wrong there's no one in the office, so it stays bugged and broken until they actually get back to actually fix it. This happened in Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle for the new year, when there were the step-up summons, and one of the characters had an incorrect pull rate featured, and no one was able to fix it for multiple days until they actually got back into the office to fix it, and then everyone ended up getting refunded. It was a whole scenario. It was a pretty big time. So that's why I kind of say that it may not happen on Christmas, because they want to have people there, and I don't know if they work on Christmas or not, right? Because I don't know how that stuff works in Japan. I'm not Japanese. I don't know everything about the culture. So that's why I think that we may get the data mine closer to the 26th or something, and that would leave us with about a day or two pending to where we could then get the release of the new sync pair, or the rerunning sync pairs, right? Which would somewhat fit into line with this schedule here. If we don't include Ash, you could definitely make the argument that Thunderbolt Red or Cynthia would drop on the 28th, and then the other one would drop on the 30th, and that would still give you plenty of time for then, to release the January sync pairs, all that type of stuff. I think that there's definitely still a possibility that they release the data mine around the 26th or 27th, and then they release Aura Cynthia and Thunderbolt Red about 2 days later, to where then obviously we can still get all that stuff. I think that is still a possibility. Maybe they just wanted to hide it to make sure people don't, save up their gems too much. They want people to still go for Nate, still want to go for Rosa, whatever it may be, right? I still think it's a possibility. I'm not going to guarantee anything. But we also got the dev letter earlier today where it pretty much just states stuff we already knew, where Rosa was going to be dropping alongside her event, the gifts and whatnot, that type of stuff. But they never really specified anything else. They really just they said that their next letter would be on January 1st, which is pretty expected, meaning that they could definitely shadow drop these anniversary units. They dropped a trailer before, I believe, for them, a little bit after they released, and they literally just released the anniversary units with no promotional video. I'm quite certain. So that was pretty interesting last year, and I think that they could definitely do that again this year, except they'll be at the start of the data mine instead of at the very end. Why is my news popping up? I don't care. Thank you. So, yeah. That's my first thought, is that we could still get them for the end of December, but there is definitely a chance that that doesn't happen. And if that is the case, then I think that we could get them for the run-up to the 4.5-year anniversary. I think that's definitely possible, because last year we got Leon's rerun for the 4.5 anniversary alongside when we got these new Neo Champion Galar units, right, with legendary birds. So they rerun one sync pair before, but that's not really anything to go by, because for the 3rd anniversary, they actually ended up rerunning Archie and Maxie. 2 sync pairs, 2 unrelated sync pairs to these ones, by the way, meaning that obviously they could still rerun whoever they want for the run-up and whatnot. And for the 4th anniversary, which I don't have an image of right here, probably should have got that, they rerun, obviously, the Signasuit Johto trio, which was 3 Master Fairs. So clearly the amount of Master Fairs does not matter. And that's why it leads me to believe that for the half anniversary in February, they could drop 2 or 3 of these anniversary sync pairs, whether it be Red and Cynthia or Red, Cynthia, and Ash together. They could rerun them for the 4.5 anniversary run-up, and then obviously have all, probably 6 Master Fairs running alongside each other, because that's what happened for the 4th anniversary. They just released a whole lot of Master Fairs. I think that's still possible. I think it may be equally as likely now, because obviously with us not having these sync pairs for the 3rd anniversary in this data mine for December this year, I do think that there is a lessened chance that we could get them with their rerun. But what's really selling me is that we don't have a rerun character here for Pokemon Masters Day or around the same time. We just have Rosa's release. We usually get a rerun. Even back during the 4th anniversary, we still got the rerun of the Johto trio. It was not on Pokemon Masters Day, but it was around that time, and it was for the run-up of the anniversary, meaning it was still a rerun around Pokemon Masters Day. I still counted it, right? Same thing happened with, I don't think the same thing happened with Leon, because this was before they started doing Pokemon Masters Day reruns. But ever since they started doing the reruns, they've been consistent. The only time they haven't done it is back when they released the Johto trio rerun, which, again, I still count, and right now. So why would they not do a rerun right now? I think literally just dropping the 3rd anniversary sync pairs right now for the New Year's, a hype time in these gacha games, would have been a smart idea for them to do, and I still think that there is a solid possibility that they might. But again, if they don't do that, there is probably the likelihood that they will rerun for the run-up to the 4.5-year anniversary. Whatever content drops during that month, the run-up, I am relatively certain, should at least include these characters. My initial thoughts were that they were going to rerun the 3rd anniversary characters right now for the New Year's events and whatnot, but if they don't do that, then I think for the 4th anniversary, 4.5 anniversary, they'll do that. I was originally thinking that they would have done Adamant and Irida's rerun for the 4.5-year anniversary, just, their level of strength is insane, all that stuff, or maybe, they could have rerun these 3.5-year sync pairs for the 4.5 anniversary. They could have rerun these Kanto birds, Galar birds, whatever you want to call them. They could have done that, but I don't know. It seems that now we may get that pushed back all the way to where these characters will then rerun in the 4.5-year anniversary run-up slot, meaning the Adamant and Irida's re-release could get pushed back to the 5th anniversary, or even potentially later than that. Who knows? Maybe they'll maybe they could release Adamant and Irida randomly for a Pokemon Masters Day rerun. Who knows, right? There's just a lot of different things that they could do, a lot of different ways they could go about it. And it's very interesting to me. So those are my overall thoughts about where the 3rd anniversary sync pairs are. I think that they could still potentially rerun for the New Year's. It would just be a pretty, narrow time frame that they could do it. Very narrow time frame at that. And then potentially if they don't do it then I think that the 4.5-year anniversary run-up is the second best option for them to do it. If they don't do it then, I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe the 5th anniversary, even though that would make 2 years since their debut, which is absurd, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do with this? There's a lot of different options they could do. This is just my speculations and whatnot, using, you know, a little bit of evidence that I have that could make a little bit of sense at the very least. So yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts there. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know where you think that the 3rd anniversary sync pairs will be able to re-release or not, whether they be, you know, now for the 4.5 anniversary, for the 5th anniversary, or maybe even sometime else. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you all later.